Good evening, Danvers. This is November 21st, 2024, and welcome to the Topics of the Town News, and welcome to Tony Betancourt, stand in for a commentator that he's been active very much so.
I'd like to give my 2 cents.
Yeah, all you got is 2 cents,
Exactly.
right? And I'm Mark Zuberek, your host, and what we're supposed to do today, and I'll just apologize for the situation, is today we were supposed to have Dan Bauer, our superintendent of schools, and he was going to give us a interpretation of how the schools are performing, what standing they are, MCAS, what happened with MCAS because we had the elections, and we also wanted to know what is the ongoing relationship between Essex Tech, Danvers High School, our grammar school program. There's a lot of interest in the schools that are being planned down in Peabody and Salem.
You're talking about the charter schools.
Charter schools.
Yeah, they haven't
correct.
started that project yet, but looks like it's going to.
Well, that's going to be an interesting project to watch. So, I have been discussing this show today with.
Let me ask you a question. On that charter school, if it comes in now, if a Danvers student wants to go there, do they pull the money with them, or how's it work? Do you know
Anybody can go there.
Anybody can go there. But who flips the bill? They get
He
it from the town?
he takes his money with him, or with her, to the charter school.
Oh, really?
There's a little bit that's left over for Danvers,
Okay, I wasn't sure.
but it's the money goes with the students.
So if 10 students from Danvers wanted to go to that charter school,
They
the
can-
money would come from Danvers to go there?
The $20,000 a year that we pay for our students is going to go to
Would
the
follow
charter
them.
school. Yes. So the thing is that it all depends on how fast that charter school can be constructed,
Right.
because the area, the restaurant that was in there,
They stopped
Onion
already?
Town,
Yeah.
has been eliminated, and I think the plans have been put together, and they have been approved.
I believe
But
they have. But
there's a issue, and it's funding all the time. Money talks. and
now,
that-
do they get state money for that too?
Absolutely. Why
Oh.
not?
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking. I
Well,
really don't
look
know.
look at Revere. Revere
Okay.
built their high school right
Okay.
there along the way to the airport,
Okay.
and
I did. Yeah, I
that
noticed
was done with the state municipal funds.
Okay.
And that's, hey, every school, and I hate to be a drum major here about schools. Every school in this town or this community is a state school.
Except
We
for
have to
St. Mary's.
realize
St.
that.
Mary's doesn't get anything though.
Danvers is not directing or inputting to the education of our students. All they're there for, the superintendent and the school committee, is there for to supply the real estate tax money that they need to run the school system, because bulk of it is planned and funded by the state funds.
Okay, dumb question. St. Mary's doesn't get any funding though for that, right? If your daughter goes to St. Mary's out of
No.
sixth grade,
No.
you have to pay for it out of your thing. There's no.
That's right.
there's
That's
no
a
federal money.
private school.
That's a private school. So what's it? Why is that different than a charter school? I'm just curious. I don't understand
Because
it.
that's why I'm saying.
No, I understand.
It's a state school
Okay.
system, except it's funded in a different fashion
Okay.
than our school system.
Okay.
It's in reality, if you look at it deep enough, it's the same thing.
Okay. No, I didn't.
Except that the money goes to the
Okay,
charter
I
school.
didn't know that. That's why. So that's good. At least those money follows. That will make Danvers wake up a little bit more. Make sure they do a better job. Otherwise, they're going to lose more
Well,
students.
if we continue in this path, our legislators, in the great wisdom that they have in the State House, will probably put some kind of a law in place that this may not be the right way to go. They want to continue with the Danvers real estate tax money. So, now, I just want to make very clear that the agenda and the opinions are solely by the topics of the town host, our guests, contributors, and commentators. I just want to make that very clear right up
Understood.
front.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Today's quote or special saying is, Ben, if you can put up my quote for the day, and I am doing this for a reason. I'm doing it to make us think a little bit about what is the rest of the world think of us and how we participate. The most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any.
That's true.
And the thing is that until we get into our head that we have personal power in the direction and how money is spent from our pocket, because that's where it all comes from.
But you need numbers. That's the problem. One person will make a little bit of a difference, but you need power. You need power behind you to make them listen. Does that make sense?
It does, but let me just do an explanation on this quote. Is that this was done by Alice Walker, and she is a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer with more than 30 literary works under her belt, including her most famous novel, The Color Purple. I don't know if you read that, because I know I have when I was in school. Her writing, Other Explorers and Crossroad, Race and Gender, a former social worker and teacher, Walker also has a long history advocating for civil rights.
Okay.
Activism is my rent for living on this planet. And she is stressing activism, which I think we have been preaching that forever, at least I have. She has said her commitment to equal rights and representation encourages us to stand up for our own beliefs and values and to never let society or other people diminish our sense of self-worth. So, just to recap this thing, the most common way people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. And I think we have to start thinking that we have all the power in our hands, except that we delegate it to our elected officials, our phantom leaders that we have, whether they're in the town hall or at work or something like that. We need to participate in all of these activities.
That's true.
So, my other quote that I have is, and this I presented to the airport commissioners this last Monday, because no conflict can be solved so long as all parties are convinced they are right.
Well, that's a problem.
That's a standoff.
Yes, that's a big
what,
problem.
What is it called in Texas? I don't know.
The Alamo?
Yeah. Solution is possible only when at least one party begins to consider how he might be wrong. He or she might be wrong.
Well, that's true. I mean, you're right in what you're saying, exactly.
Because somebody has to give and take a little. And the thing is that we don't let that happen because we're stubborn. We're all right.
No, I mean, if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, you have to admit it. I mean, there's no question in my mind. I'm the type of person that, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. What are you going to do,
Okay.
My name's not got in the trash,
Well, I have been dealing with Mr. Richard Trask.
Oh, yeah,
on
that's a gentleman. That's a gentleman.
Discussions that we're presenting or filming, and he and I have had long discussions every Tuesday for about an hour to 2 hours. And I have some film that I'm editing right now, and I'm trying to preserve some of the thoughts of his impressions of. He loves history. He goes
Yes,
back to
yeah,
the
no,
Mayflower
I see that.
days.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
And when we get into the 1949, 1950, when we were all born, he has very little interest in this time frame.
I can
But
imagine why.
we have a very good understanding
No,
of what it's all about. So I am going to give you a brief description of what happened during the last election presentation that I made the last show, which was on November 7th.
Okay.
Just to summarize, I went to the election room, which was
Oh yeah, exactly.
the room. What is that called? Not
Field house.
field house. That's right, field house.
You went to the field house to film the.
And
what was
I
going
went in like I have for 15 years.
Exactly.
I went in with my camera, and I just gave our town clerk a heads up that I would like to go in, and she's always been
Right.
very cooperative. However, this time, after I returned after my vote, I went to get the camera and came back and started looking at precinct 7 and 8. That's my interest. I mean, that's where I belong in the past.
Okay.
And so I got basically banished from the field house
Is it
because
'cause you?
I was too close,
Okay.
and I was filming people that were using their constitutional right to vote. And what I was told, and after 15 years, I've never heard this before,
Okay,
is
I'm
that
listening.
I cannot film the proceedings with a camera that has captures voice.
Oh, okay. That's
So okay, so I just eliminated because it was useless for seeing what was going on inside the room.
All you were doing is out of the goodness of your heart showing what the process and stuff.
That-
There was no
that-
intention or anything like that.
that's
That's
all
the
it
reason
was.
being.
The problem
Someone
is,
must have complained. More likely that's what happened. I don't know.
problem is nobody complained.
Okay.
She identified new rules
Oh,
that
okay.
I wasn't aware of in the
Okay.
past, and I've never had that problem.
No.
So I said, fine. I exchanged emails with the town clerk, and I had no issues with her position. And even the last November 7th show, I didn't show any
No.
film that was taken inside the
Right.
election facility. However, my problem was that our invincible DCAT director and the facility basically threatened me
What?
that I should not be showing any of that film. They have no right to direct me to what I can show or I cannot show. I'm part of the press presence. And if there was an issue that had to be addressed, I addressed it. And I did not show any film inside the facility anyway. But I made a big deal about the facility outside because that's where the action was.
That's where all the action is. All
That's
the time.
where the Trump activity was. That's where a lot of people were out demonstrating with signs. And there were some very good activities promoting the election. So my issue, like I said 2 weeks ago, is not with the town clerk. It is with the director of DCAT
I wonder why though. Is it maybe because?
because he got a call from the town clerk
Oh.
and he was advised that, hey, there may be something. That's none of his business. If the town clerk was sensible, she would have called the cops and had me arrested.
That wouldn't look good.
But that's okay. But that's all right. But the thing is that by sending the director of DCAT and censoring my product that I was showing on the show is a very big infraction on my civil rights and my press release, press presence rights. And I will follow this up, but I just wanted to explain this because there's been a lot of questions asked. And I've had phone calls back and forth. There's misunderstanding of what was going on. My problem is not with the town clerk because I comply.
So what it was is fake news.
Well, no, this is the
They don't want you reporting what you're supposed to
dictatorship
report.
happening in town. So I do not appreciate that, and I am going to follow that
They
up.
don't want the truth out.
Well, the truth is that there was nothing happening
Right.
at the election facility.
Exactly. But I don't know.
But Trump got elected.
Yes.
And I have stayed out of that altogether all
Yes.
these months and years. And the thing is, it happened on its own.
Yes.
And even Danvers almost
Yes.
had
Yes.
a plurality
I
on
can't
it.
believe that New Hampshire, if you go to New Hampshire, there's so many signs for him. I cannot believe he didn't win New Hampshire. I'm telling you right now.
No, the thing is that a lot of it was silent in this town.
Oh, no question about it.
And what happened is there was an outpouring of support at the polling places.
All I can say is one thing. Do you see how many votes he got? Do you think the last election, the other guy got 82 million? I don't think so. I'm sorry.
But
Think
that's
something.
hey, it's done. It's water
Oh, I
over
know
the
that. That's right.
dam.
Exactly.
And the thing is, we have to move on.
Yes, we do.
And what we're doing is we're moving on.
Yes.
And I just pulled out one article that if Trump does what he promises,
Oh, my God. It's going to be a beautiful country.
these will be 4 good years.
Yes.
And the thing is,
They're going to fight him all the way. That's the only thing I'm afraid of.
they are.
That's what I'm afraid of. But he's gotten smarter. I'm hoping that he can really use his wisdom and, you know what I mean, instead of fighting with them, just let them fall on their own, because they are falling on their own right now as it is. I mean, with just all the stuff going on, it's crazy.
One of
Even
the
in Massachusetts, you've seen exactly what happened about the illegals, 3
Yes.
of them.
Yep.
You can't find it in any other station except for Fox. I mean, they're not even advertising. It's
well,
ridiculous.
that's because our state is contaminated with the gender
But, Mark,
friendly people.
you came here. Didn't you come from a different country?
Yes.
Did you come the right way?
Absolutely.
I did too. I came over in 1960,
But
4.5 years old.
But the thing is that we were sponsored here by someone.
Yes, we were.
And just to give you an example of what's going on right now, they're getting everything for free.
Right.
And it's all coming out of our tax pockets.
My father had to come here 2 years before we came to work to make some money to make sure we had a place, everything else before we could even come. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
So you're in the same boat.
That's what gets you upset.
The issue is that when we came as immigrants into this country, I remember my father had $20 in his pocket, and at that time, $20 went a long way, and we were able to survive. And we had our grandmother that was sponsoring us.
Exactly.
And that's.
If you didn't have a sponsor, you couldn't come.
But listen to this. In this article, this is by Conrad Black. He published the November 7th, 24 article. And this article, basically what the confirmation, the decisive results, the first is the confirmation that the country will not tolerate incompetent and dishonest government. Now, that rings a bell in both federal, state, and local.
Yes.
And the thing is, serious historians of the future will be incredulous that any serious commentators, let alone the incumbent political class, could have imagined that the country would re-elect an administration that had admitted illegally over 10 million destitute migrants. So it's probably more like 20 million when you really get to it.
And
But-
they didn't even care about it. That's what I don't understand. I mean, they don't even call these people that died. They didn't even call the parents or anything to condole them or anything else. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
Ben, did you put up the flag and our friend Trump? I think that's serious. There you go. Now, there's a gentleman that's been persecuted,
Yes.
prosecuted, almost jailed, and he made good on this election. But what we have to understand, life is a privilege to be an American, and it's a privilege. A person's pigmentation, like the color of their hair or eyes, is neither here nor there. And Michelle Obama, as an educated American citizen, had a great deal to be proud of in her nationality long before her fellow citizens elevated her husband to the leadership of the American people. Now, we've been dealing with racism and the discrimination that's been happening. We all know, we can go back to the 60s and 50s and 70s, and there were some instances.
Yes, there was, but I don't think it's like that today.
But they were over.
They make it. They want to make you think it's like that today. That's the problem, I think.
I am very convinced that this is something that's reflected in our culture right now, and it has to be, it has to be eliminated because we have to stop making this big deal about it. We have to deal with it.
We have to deal with everything. We have to learn to get along with everybody, basically.
Now, the one thing that caught my eye is people like Oprah Winfrey.
Yes. Did you
And
see how
the
much money
once
she got?
and the once somewhat plausible historian Michael Burschloss, who predicted the end of the democracy and individual freedom with a Trump victory, should be embarrassed and never listened to again on political matters. Now, that's been determined 4 years ago, and now it reappears all over again. But finally, Tuesday's election constitutes the greatest and most historic single combat warrior political victory since Franklin Delano Roosevelt's triumph over polio. Trump's defeat of the press, Wall Street, Hollywood, and Silicon Valley at the head of the personal following of scores of millions in favor of the reestablishment of American highest political traditions. Now, I'm reading this because I think it's very important for us. Makes him, even if it will take many a while to assimilate this fact, one of the gigantic figures in the history of America. It is his habit to do as he promises, and if that continues, these will be 4 good years.
Yes, I hope so.
And the thing is that this article sort of caught my eye, and I decided to include it into the presentation today. But as you know, my focus is always on Danvers.
Exactly.
Local, local, local. I did not want to get this in, but as a result of my filming of the demonstration and the campaign signs at the polling location outside was very, very encouraging. And what happened? He won.
Yes.
So that's the end of the Trump.
But the good thing, Mark, is it's true. If you asked me before 8 years ago about this, that everything was going on, but you're right. Everything that's up there trickles all the way down to our town politics.
Right.
And it's sad. So what you see what's happening up there, you know what's kind of happening in town. It's sad. It's not the way it's supposed to be. That's what's terrible about it.
That's what we're going to get into right
Exactly.
now. The Danvers town manager search continues.
Yes.
And the question was, last night the Tuesday they
Tuesday
had
night,
the
yes.
meeting. And I guess the only update is that they have,
They selected a group to
as a consultant, to
to
search for a manager.
manager.
Now, the only thing is that I have been talking to different people, and
Okay.
one of the things is, why don't we get the consultant that did the Lexington search committee for the town manager, because they found one right here next door. So the consultant should be available for almost nothing.
We probably have them in Danvers somewhere. That's the thing, but I don't know.
It's, we laugh about it,
I
but
know.
it's a serious business.
Yes.
And the thing is that we have to realize that this worldwide search for a town manager
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad
is
thing.
not
want-
real.
Exactly. You want someone close. Someone knows what's going on.
Well, yeah, as you know, there has been a lot of discussion in regard to the residency requirement. They're
Yes.
worried, the select board is worried that they will not attract a qualified town manager
We want-
because the housing costs are too high in Danvers.
Yes. that I can agree
Well,
with.
well, then do something about it
Right.
and reduce our taxes.
They keep, every time we look at all these new buildings, everything around here, all the tax money coming in, it keeps like going in. But I don't know. They're not saving anything.
That's right.
That's the
So
problem.
that's one subject that was discussed. Open space development and maintenance, new state law authorizing housing expansion by legalizing in-law apartments as a right. There was a law passed in 2024,
All right,
and-
listen to that again.
and our
Okay.
legislators
Okay.
did not give us any heads up in
Okay.
regards to this law that forces us into legalizing by right the building of in-law apartments.
Yeah, you have to go for a permit for that.
No, we won't have to, because they, in their wisdom, have decided to create a law similar to what the MBTA law is, to allow the building of in-law apartments. If you want one, come on and get it. We'll give you a permit right now.
You don't have to go through all the baloney?
No, because they have abducted our zoning requirements, and our town is sitting there with no ammunition to fight them.
Our town's been. If you watch some of these meetings, like I've been watching, they run people through the coals and all that stuff there. On you can't have this, you can't have that, the entrance, all that stuff there. So you're trying to tell me you can?
Right now, you can do whatever you want. And that's where our legislative elected officials have not brought that to our attention. This happened, I think, in September or sometime. Yeah. And the thing is that I have a little blurb here.
Because I mean, in a way, I'll be honest with you. If I had my mother and father, and they wanted to live with me and live in a house, shouldn't be a problem. But if you put an addition on, that's when you had to go for the stuff, right?
In-law apartment, yes.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to say. If it's family, it's family.
But you know what this whole thing leads to? Two families. It's a two-family residential area that we are entrusted with right now.
But a lot of them, what they've been doing when you go for an in-law thing, they have you write down that once you stop, you can't continue it.
Well, this law doesn't seem to be holding on.
They're not telling us then.
No, well, excuse the expression, but
I understand, but they're changing all kinds of zonings. That they're doing more and more stuff with. Oh
well,
God,
that's
I'm telling you.
why the state legislature is acting against our wishes of how this town should look, behave, or the new construction should be happening.
And another one too. It's not too good. I hear now was A lot of people, if you have a house and you want to, you can, I don't know what they call it. I'm trying to think now how to say it. Oh, God.
Renovate, expand?
No, not that. Forget about it. I'm not going to
That's all right. We'll get to
get
it.
to it later.
We'll get to it.
Can't hit it right now.
Hey, memories coming back.
Well, exactly.
The third item I have on here, and this is very interesting, town management resignations. Now, as soon as the town manager resigned, I understand that without even much notice, the DEI manager clandestine leaving as soon as the town manager resigned.
You sure shouldn't go with him?
Well, I don't know. Maybe
I
he
don't
had
know.
an offer to go to Lexington.
Who knows? I don't know.
The problem is that position was invented
I don't think we needed that position.
and
I'll be honest with you.
identified by the town manager, who was very woke, and he just reacted to the statewide or national environment that he was living in. He was liberal more than anybody else. He went right with the governor, and he thought he was in charge. And the thing is, he ruined a part of Danvers.
That I agree with. But you know something, too? That position there could have probably gotten us 2 police officers. I mean, we could have done better, honestly.
Well, I estimate that to be at least $200,000
saying.
investment into that space, the support facilities, the clerical support, the salary, and the benefits for that DEI individual.
You probably could have got 2 police officers out of that, which we
So-
could have used that. Probably wouldn't have. We had someone walking the beat. I mean, honestly, you know?
My note on here is that the Board of Selectmen must direct the new town manager to eliminate this position outright.
I hope that happens.
And save the cost of a DEI organization, and maybe up to $200,000 per year.
I hope so.
That may go towards the trash fee.
That's not going to happen. We'd like it to happen. I don't even think the trash fee ever passed anyway, really, honestly, if you ask me.
Well,
That vote was, I don't know, I hate to say it, I don't know.
well, we can appeal it again.
Hey,
It can be done.
can it?
Yes, it can. This is a decision that can be requested to be considered at town meeting, and to direct the Board of Selectmen to reconsider the trash fee and move on to a tax-supported trash collection contract like they have in the past. They had too much money to deal with this time. They didn't use it wisely.
What's even upsetting, Mark, is that, look, David Lane left. He's the one that did the contract, and also with the other stuff. So now, that leaves a lot of unanswered questions, if you ask me, my honest opinion. I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm being honest with you, you know?
Well, let me just get into my
Well, I know. I'm not trying to take you off it.
fourth
Okay.
subject, town management resignations or retirements and others. Where are the exit interviews? Why are these people leaving?
They don't want us knowing what's going on.
Well, I told you that in the past.
No, I agree with you.
Town DPW manager resigned, departed, exit interviews. We have no idea why. Yes, we do, by rumors.
Right.
But there's nothing at the end.
Nothing in writing.
That's right. Nothing that is there, because they're protecting the individuals that were caught with their hands in the kitty.
They should have been fired.
That's right. Solar panel park at the dump. That's another $6 or $8 million endeavor that is going on as we speak. So, I have a suspicion that may have to be investigated, and I have.
They might have to do an audit.
Well, audit.
Audit.
You know, we do an audit every single year in July or August, September. And the thing is, they never find anything. You know why? Because the audit is conducted by the audit consultant but it's based on information that the department heads provide to the consultant. So they can manipulate the numbers any way they
Well,
want.
if you look at it, all these people that had to resign and left, I mean, I don't know. It leaves a lot of unanswered questions. We never got any answers. Are we supposed to get answers? We should, right?
Well, we pay for it.
Yeah, we should get an answer. But how do you get an answer?
We go to court. That's the key. Or go to the selectmen's meeting and have them investigate this because they're sitting there pretty and they think they're doing something right. They haven't.
I mean, there
an
might
idea.
not be anything wrong, but it does leave you thinking in your mind. I mean, there's no question in my mind, seeing what's happening and stuff. I don't know. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out if all these people have left and there was a problem.
So
Something happened.
let's move on
Okay.
because this thing gets better.
I apologize.
Possible new hires by current town manager, which were identified in the newspaper article. He would never talk to anyone. Should be on hold and delayed until the new manager is in place.
That I agree with.
Let new manager define his or her team subject to town charter review. Now, this new town manager is going to have a double whammy because he's going to have to build a new team, but he's also going to have to rely on the changes or the proposals that the Town Charter Review Committee will propose to town meeting and see if they get implemented. And all that is going to happen supposedly April, May of next year. However, we don't expect a new town manager until March or April
Did
of
hear
next
that,
year.
yes.
So, but there has
Well, we have Rodney in place. Hopefully he can hold the fort and keep everything
Rodney
going.
is financially he can hold the fort
That's what I'm
down.
hoping for.
He's very good and
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes.
However, the Board of Selectmen have to stand up and be counted finally because somebody needs to give him direction of which way they should go. There has to be some permissible confirmation by the Select Board. Now, by permissible confirmation, what I'm saying is that the federal government has a process that the Senate reviews and approves the cabinet members.
Okay.
In this case, in our town, we have no input to who gets hired for the high-level positions like DPW, Treasury, Town Clerk, those senior positions.
How about the select board? Shouldn't be select board be on that?
Well, that's what I'm just saying.
Okay, no, I'm
There
just wondering.
has to be some permissible confirmation by the select
They
board.
should come in front of the select board and present themselves so the town can get an idea of what's happening.
This is the
Get input.
organization I want to do. But now the select board has a very interesting job in front of them because they need to consider what the ramifications of this new organization is going to be on the culture of our own employees. We have 700 some employees in this town.
And a lot of them weren't
including-
happy. A lot of them were leaving. I mean, I don't know what the problem was, but there was a problem there. I know for a fact. I mean, I heard it. I mean, it's not right now. Hopefully, the morale has stopped, and hopefully we can get some good people back and get things on track. A lot of good people have left this town. They were really good for this town. I don't know for what reason, but no one
Well,
talks. That's another
This
problem,
is
too.
the reason I'm bringing this up because
No, it's
none
good
of
conversation.
none of these positions have an exit interview or exit summary of why these people are leaving. And the same thing happened in the school system because when I was investigating the exit of students from Danvers High School to the Essex Tech because they wanted to go to Essex Tech because
Everybody wants to go to Essex Tech.
it was attractive to
Yes.
them. And the thing is that the Danvers principal of the high school and the superintendent had no idea why these people are leaving, why these students are leaving. This is their income that's going to the Essex Tech. And the thing is, it took, I don't know, several tries to get some kind of a reaction out of them. And there was a survey that was done that didn't mean a damn thing. They don't even know how long these students go to college and stay in college. A lot of students go to college for the first year because they're enticed by scholarships and funding from the state, and then they exit.
Yeah, they drop out sometimes the first semester.
And they don't know what the heck happens to them. So,
But
DPW.
you know what woke up? You know what woke up the town of Danvers?
What's that?
The money for the vote.
That's-
That's what woke them up. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking.
Money talks, and you know
Bullshit
what
walks.
walks.
That's what happened.
So,
Ask me.
what I have found out, and I've reported this in the past, is the town manager wanted to fill these positions: DPW director, assistant town manager, municipal light.
Assistant town manager. Isn't she still here?
Yeah, but she won't be here long
Why did you say that?
because she is attached to Steve Bartha. That's who hired her, and that's who trained her, and that's been a cause of a lot of HR reactions. And
I mean,
this
she
is-
doesn't. She seems like a real nice person. I'm surprised that she didn't go into the shoes of Bartha. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. I really don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny.
it's an issue. It's a personnel issue, and the thing is that the qualifications are not to the level of a town manager.
That's true. But sometimes, you don't have to be perfect. You can work it out. You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
You're talking about Wayne Marquis, and he's long gone. But that's how it happens a lot of times.
that's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, what the past Board of Selectmen, the one that hired Steve, was looking for somebody that was going to be a magician and create the same environment as Wayne had.
But I think what they did, they nickel and dime us to death is what they're doing. We need someone to take care of the town. I mean, that's the problem, if you ask me. Our taxes keep going up way too much, and too much money being spent. Something has to happen here. We can't keep going this way.
So, what I've identified on here, and let me just read this list
ahead.
off real quick. DPW director, there's got to be somebody that's in charge of DPW, which is the largest of the departments.
That's an important department, too.
Water DPW director, water and sewer. And that's another one that was the director or the manager who left because he got
We don't know why.
involved. Yeah, well, he
Well,
got involved with
yeah,
the same thing
right,
that David Lane did.
No one ever told us.
Well,
It hasn't been reported.
well,
Shouldn't there be a report on something like that or no?
absolutely it should be,
I
but
don't
nobody's
know.
asking. Assistant town manager is another position that needs to be filled. Municipal light
We have
board.
one. You don't think she's staying?
No. Municipal Light Electric Company Director is another one. There's a position that's open.
Okay.
And the thing is that the Municipal Light Board is so independent and
It's controlled by the town manager.
and controlled by the town manager. That's right. And now what they want to do is isolate it a little bit more towards a management team that's doing the. It's a $40 million company.
Peabody has theirs set up differently.
It's,
They
well,
have the
it-
commissioners.
We have three.
Yeah, but those are picked commissioners. Those commissioners don't get paid. I believe the ones in Peabody get paid.
Well, then maybe we should have them elected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The ones in Peabody are elected.
That's right.
Are elected and paid.
And this one is
Appointed.
hand selected by
Right.
the town manager.
Sometimes that's not the best thing.
That's right. Any other hires must be deferred to new town manager. Town charter, town manager review, and evaluation of the type of government we want or we need. This is an issue that's going on right now, and it's been very active. Sally Calhoun is the chairwoman of the review committee.
Listen, that committee needs a big thank you. They're putting a lot of hours in. They're doing it for free, and I'm hoping they can help us out and bring the town to the right perspectives.
See, the town charter review, and they call it now town manager review. It doesn't matter. It's the
Right.
same thing. They need to go in depth, and they're trying to. They have investigated or extended the invitation to former selectmen,
Yes, they have.
school committee people, finance committee people, because they need to hear from the general public. They need more input from the residents.
What they should have is all the town meeting members. They should have a big, like a town meeting, and have everybody sit down and have a big conversation and see if anybody can throw their 2 cents in and see where we're going. I don't know. It's just a thought.
See, the one thing that I have included in this package, the town charter review, why are we instructed to perform this review? And this was requested by the Board of Selectmen, and after prodding for 2.5, 3 years by me,
Yes.
and finally they've succumbed to the selection of this committee. The one thing that I've identified is that right now, with the current charter and laws, we have a strong town manager act, which means there's a dictator in the White House.
Right.
And what the Board of Selectmen, they are a weak select board.
Well, that's the reason being the select board is what's supposed to tell the town manager what to do. But basically, from
It's
what I
the other
understand,
way
it was the other
around.
way around.
That's right.
basically. And they went along with it. I think that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure, but
Town manager controls too many committees' appointments. Town manager is responsible for department organization without any confirmation by the Board of Selectmen, unless they do it on a side and
Right.
they give them a blessing here and there. But that's not how it should be done.
no.
Town manager residency requirements should stay.
I think so.
I do
We don't
too.
want anybody. How about if you got someone lives in Rhode Island and you have a tragedy? You got to wait for them to get up here for a couple. It
No,
shouldn't be.
it won't work. It has to be in
Yeah.
town. Municipal Light Board. Ultimate operating function of the Municipal Light Board should be and is to the taxpayer of Danvers. Does the Municipal Light Board have any power at this time? The Light Board is an appointed 3-member committee,
Right.
and it responds directly to the town manager
They-
and only does what the town manager allows them to do.
It seems that way. It's not supposed to be that way, but it seems that
Right.
way. Okay, is that the best way to put it?
So it's a weak municipal light board, which is not responsive to the residents, but only to the town manager. Other enterprise funds, water and sewer. Town has water supply, which we have a good supply.
No, and we have a beautiful building up in Middleton too.
That's
I mean,
right.
really, you know.
The one thing that the review committee got hung up on is town meeting has lost the effectiveness of being informed and is lacking focus on participation. Participation by town meeting is very, very important.
It is, but if you notice though, in town meeting, a lot of people work for the town. I don't think they should. Honestly, that's what a lot of people are watching out for their welfare. If you ask me, in a way, okay, it should be people from outside. My honest opinion, okay, but I don't think there's a law that reciprocates that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people that work for the town right now are retired. They're town meeting members, so they're voting on, retirement and all that stuff there to a certain extent. So
They are,
so it shouldn't be.
but that's only to fund everything. There
Okay.
are separate committees, and one of the examples that I'll give you is there is a retirement board,
Yes, I know that.
and as soon as our DPW director got caught in his situation, he went and retired.
I
And
know.
they approved it because I even went to get a copy of the minutes of that meeting, and they won't give it to you. So
So
it's an inside job.
should have him not be able to get his retirement because of that happened or something?
That's up to the retirement board.
Oh, okay. So, all right, I understand what you're saying.
But they don't have any instrument
In
to
place
cut him off
to
or
cut him
not,
off or do anything. All to get him,
because it was all done under the rug.
well, that's what I'm wondering. You know, I don't know.
Everything is done under the carpet.
Well, that's what's sad. See, when they do it like that, it leaves you wondering too much.
That's right. It's questioning things.
Exactly, questioning, and we could question things that we could be wrong in what we're asking, but we don't know.
Now, let me just get the three more items, and I think we'll leave the Beverly Airport, because that's something just for information to the general public.
Yeah,
Is
well,
that
we need some time on
last
that one.
Monday we had a Beverly Airport Commission meeting on the 18th of November, and yesterday I completed a presentation or an introduction to the meeting itself. The meeting itself is very boring, but the contents that is presented in the beginning by your representative here, Mark Zuberek, and I'm not a representative of the commission. I'm a representative of the Danvers residents and a reporter.
And we have to thank you for all that you do. We really appreciate it.
And I even ran out of film this time again,
Yes.
because the meeting was 2.5, 3 hours
Yes.
long.
And I'm telling you, I don't know that I thought we're getting somewhere with that committee. I thought we're doing good. I know with Mr. Castle on there, we're doing good with him. I got to say that much, okay? But I didn't like what happened at the meeting, okay? Again, they're talking about the PFAS, the contamination on that property, which is quite a bit, okay? And they were actually talking about sending the town of Danvers a bill for the fire department shooting that foam there. But I brought to their attention that it wasn't just Danvers, it was Wyndham, Beverly, and Danvers there, okay? And they want to, I'm telling you, something's got to happen here. The town of Danvers is being taken advantage of by that airport. And it's about time we wake up and see what's going on, okay? We have to have a conversation with Mr. Bennett and straighten this stuff out, because it's ridiculous.
All right, I just want to bring everybody up to date about several issues in regard to the airport, and then we'll go back to the town charter.
Okay, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to take over.
That's all right. That's all right. Hey, we can switch back and forth. The issues in regard to the Beverly Airport are threefold. One is there's been a three-part FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request, in regard to the determination and the lease of the property for the gigantic hangar that they're going to try to build on the west side of the airport on Old Burley Street. That's what the address is.
199.
The second part is that they have been finagling with a open meeting law violation,
Yes.
because they're conducting executive sessions in the absence of public view, because they want to,
We don't know what they want to hide from us. That's the problem.
that's right. And I have requested a copy of the executive session meetings, the minute meetings, and we'll find out. And the third one is that there's an appeal that is happening to the MEPA, which is Mass Environmental Protection Agency, and that is being fumbled by the state now. So what we're doing is we're trying to cover this in many different facets, but we'll get through it.
We hope.
We'll bring you up to date. So the next item that I like to do is, let's say, quickly get through. We got 5 minutes.
Go ahead.
Town meeting, as I said, has lost its effectiveness, so the Town Charter Review Committee is debating whether to cut back on the number of town meeting
I heard they want to
members,
go back to 15.
which is
We're at 18 right now.
I think it should be less than that. It should be a conversion to city government with 8 to 9 councilmen, and they can make decisions on the spot. Finance Committee is a significant power that's related to them, but this Finance Committee is appointed by the town moderator. Town moderator has a lot of control over the decisions that are made by the votes at town meeting, but also in the appointment of the
people that she appoints.
The Finance Committee. And she also has the power to appoint a school committee person to the Essex Tech.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I think, okay. I think it's...
The biggest problem that I see is that happened this last year is the Budget Conference Committee. Not as a conglomeration of the school committee, the finance committee, the select board, the select town meeting members, and the town manager.
Okay.
They get into a conclave to determine how we can raise our taxes.
That's what's sad, okay? Because I've been a town meeting member for over 20 years, okay? And I've never seen it this bad. The last 2 or 3 years, the Finance Committee has gotten into, I don't know how to explain it, too technical. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or not, but I've never seen it that way, the way it's been, telling us, actually looking for ways to get more money out of us. That's not their job, is it?
The other 2 items, and I'll just go through them real quick, is town accountant. Town accountant, according to the current law that we are operating under, which is our Constitution, is the town accountant that's supposed to be appointed by the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
And that town accountant is supposed to be the watchdog for the town residents of the expenditures and collection of funds, real estate funds, and other funds that are coming in.
Right. Let me ask you a question then, okay, on that day, just so we get squared away. I don't mean to confuse you.
Okay.
Town accountant. Now, who is the town accountant? It used to be Lenny Marshall. I know that.
Yeah,
okay,
Lenny
now I think
Marshall.
It's a girl. I think it's a...
It's a young lady.
Okay.
And she has gone to the
now,
point...
Ronnie is what?
Is finance director.
Now, what's the difference between that? I thought they
That's
don't do the same thing.
the point.
That's the point I'm
here.
getting at. Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's the point. The point is that town manager, the past town manager, has instituted finance director instead of town accountant.
We never had a finance director before?
No.
Oh, I was wondering why that was. So, in other words, Lenny Marshall was doing 2 jobs before.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Now I understand.
There's other items on here that we need to consider, but I just wanted to get some of these across, and we'll get through more.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. See, glad. See,
well,
you live and learn.
We can bring up more, but I want to dedicate the next show to education.
Okay.
And what I'm going to early request
Mr. Bauer to come.
Mr. Bauer to come and assist us. He already promised me that he was going to be here, and he'd rather do it in person instead of me going to film him and get a clip out of it. Yeah, and that way I don't control it. He controls it.
Right, it's better to have a good conversation.
So what we're going to do is I'd like to get Isaiah, yourself, and myself, and maybe even Jim Morose and Dan Bauer to discuss the issues. But I think we need to put together a select group of questions that we want to bring up.
You can't put too many questions, he may not come.
I know, but that's okay.
You gotta be
No,
careful.
we have to let him know what the questions are. So, Danvers, thank you very much for listening. And I hope you didn't understand the turkey, but it's only because Thanksgiving is next week.
And we're trying to, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
And happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy the turkey. And look at this. We have one that's been damaged. So we're going to have to fix that. Good night, Danvers. Thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and all your family and everybody.